This is the continued review for limits. I just wanted to touch on one more thing that I didn't touch on in the last video, and that's a case where if you have something like the limit of, or sorry, not limit as x approaches 3 of, let's say, 2x over x minus 3. Okay, so how would you do something like this? So you can picture this in your head, and it would look something like this, and you would have an asymptote at x equals 3, right? So what would it look like on something like that? So we know that a graph's going to be coming from both the left and the right side, but we don't know. Could the graph be doing this? Could the graph be doing this? Could it be doing, well, those are the only two options, but then it could also be doing that and that on the other side. So we need to figure that out. So what's a good way of figuring that out? Well, with the theme of limits going on, a good way of figuring that out is plugging in a number that is just smaller than 3 or just bigger than 3. So if we're approaching it, so remember when it says just the regular limit, so if it's asking for the limit of as x approaches 3, you need to check it from both the positive and the negative side, coming from the positive side and coming from the negative side. So if you're coming from the positive side, you want to look at a number that's larger than 3, okay? This test will really work for anything, but you want to look at a number that's larger than 3. And the whole reason I know how to do this is because if I plug in 3 here, I'm going to get 0 on the bottom. I'm going to get 6 over 0 equals 0. Normally that would work, but for this, we know our rules for drawing graphs, and we're going to have the asymptote at 3. So we need to figure out what's going to happen. So as x comes from the positive direction, what's going to happen? It could either go like this, or it could go like this. So let's plug in a number that's just larger than 3. So let's say it's 3.000001. So we'll plug that in. 2 times 3.000001 is going to be about 6. And then 3.00001 minus 3 is going to be like 0.00000 whatever, 1. So as you can see, that's going to be some insanely large number. And then however, like if this keeps getting smaller, this number is just going to keep growing. So we see that when x approaches 3 from the positive direction, the limit from the positive direction is going to be infinity. Okay. So now we can test the other side. The limit as x approaches 3 from the negative direction. So again, it could go up like this, or it could go down like this. If it goes up, it's to infinity. If it goes down, it's to negative infinity. So let's test it. But this time, since we're coming from the left, we're going to try a number that is just smaller than 3. So why not try a number like 2.99999? So obviously 2 times 2.9999999 is going to be 6. I'm looking at the top where it says 2x. And then 2.999999999 minus 3 is going to be negative 0.000000 whatever 0 on forever 1. So the whole point here is that you see that negative sign. So we know that it's going to be negative infinity because this is some insanely large number. So we know that as the limit as x approaches 3 from the negative side is going to be negative infinity. So now what did we say when the answers here are different for the top and the bottom, or from the positive and negative direction? So we have positive infinity here, negative infinity here. So our answer for the limit is does not exist. Doesn't exist because if you approach it from the positive and the negative direction, it's going to be different. So let me throw a little curveball at you. Let's say, and it didn't work out for this one, but let's say for the positive and negative directions, we got infinity for both of them. So let's say the limit as x approached 3 from the positive direction was infinity, and the limit as x approached 3 from the negative direction was infinity. I just want to clarify that's not what we got. I'm just doing an example here. This is what the graph would look like if we were to redraw it. That's what the graph would look like. This side would go up, this side would go down, whatever. But we're looking at it as if it went like this. So what if it went like that and they both finished at infinity? Could we say that the answer is infinity as x approached 3? And the answer to that is no, you cannot. And the reasoning for that is because you don't know which side reaches infinity first, because this side could be increasing at a slope like this, and then this side could just be a slope like this. And obviously, if this one has a steeper slope, it's going to be reaching infinity a lot faster than whatever that lesser slope is. So even if these both are the same here, if we had the asymptote at 3, even if they're both the same, even if they're both infinity or both negative infinity, the answer is still going to be does not exist. And that's why I said, if you noticed in the last video, with the rules for if the answers are the same, there were going to be some exceptions. This is the exception. If it's the same here, even though it's the same, it's still going to be does not exist, because you can't tell which reaches infinity first.